A few years ago, if you asked me how I felt about people having their shirt off in public, I would have been very Meghan Trainor about it. No, I would have been very you yelling at your kids while I'm over your house eating dinner. I don't want to see it. I would have been very you take your phone out and accidentally there's still the porn that you were watching before. Put the nipples away around me. But now I'm like, what did people even die for? Defending this country if we can't be shirtless in public? Why don't I want to be shirtless in public? Just because I have shame and embarrassed myself? Why can men be shirtless in public and women can't? It's because our fucking tits are useless? I went around the phone asking you what you thought of people being shirtless in public, and this is what you had to say. My first guest on the show is my wife. Zoya, I'm your husband, Mike. How do you feel about people being shirtless in public?
I don't really care.
That was Zoya, my wife. Now, let's go to the phones. I think we should be able to be shirtless in McDonald's. McDonald's is all about having it your way, like Burger King. You could have breakfast all day in McDonald's. Society's going to tell you when to have breakfast, but not whether or not to put a shirt on. That's fucked up. McRib is assorted pork parts molded to look like a rack of ribs. They mold it to look like there's bones in it. And that's okay? And I can't have my shirt off? What the fuck? Okay, we're gonna hit the phone lines. 818-722-8682 if you feel like texting me a voice note about what you feel when people's shirts are off.
On the beach, it's fine, but anywhere else in public, please do not do that.
Why? Because of we're around water? That makes it okay? Why does that make it okay? Is there water in McDonald's?
I'm a transgender woman, so I have been on sort of both sides of the genderedness of that issue, where it's both like legal and in a lot of ways considered appropriate by default for men to be shirtless in public, but obviously typically not for women, right? I lived the first 26 years of my life as one of the fellas. So I had that privilege. I also was a big fat fatty, so I had boobs my whole life anyway. The context of those very same boobs, I mean, they've changed in shape, different subtle ways, but it's the same thing. They're the same piece in the same place on my body. And yet before, if I were to walk around shirtless, my peers scoop me or whatever in the titties.
Yeah, they get scooped.
If someone did that to me now, that would be straight up assault, right? And also, like, if I were to walk around shirtless in public, I would probably not get very far before getting in some kind of either social or legal trouble for it. It is kind of crazy. I feel like trans women are kind of the proof that this is all bullshit in some way.
A lot of good points from the trans community. Same boobs in a lot of the cases. Can't scoop. But you could scoop the fellas. Where were the police when I was in middle school? Moving on.
I think it really depends on the setting. If you live near the beach, if you just came from the gym. I also used to live in Austin, Texas, and it was legal for people to just not wear shirts, including women. And so you would literally go down 6th Street and see just boobs. So I feel like I got pretty used to it. I think context really comes into play.
So if you're near water or in Austin where there are no rules, you can show your boobs in public? What?
If you're young and beautiful, but if you're above the age of 30, you should probably keep your shirt on unless you're cut.
I feel like you should be hot. Seeing somebody shirtless in public is something you didn't ask for. What's another name for that? A surprise. I only like being surprised when it's good news. A hot person or some kind of something positive and financial.
It really seems that nowadays we're going back to the days of purity culture and inconsistent quote-unquote family values now that Donald Duck is once again the president. Really, we should pick a lane. And Donald Duck and his little posse would like to indeed have the straight, conservative, pure culture be central to this entire country, then no one should be allowed shirtless in public. If men feel strongly that they should be allowed to be shirtless in public, then so should women.
Be rebellious. Take your fucking schwitz out. Men, women, theys, and trans. Here's one.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. If it's 110 degrees outside, I do not want to see that.
For women, it's okay. Do what you want, have them bitties out.
However, for dudes who are on a run,
Put your fucking shirt on.
I want a reminder every time I see you of how below average my body is.
Right. Some men go out shirtless and they don't look
And I shouldn't go out.
You heard it here first. It's only cool for hot, heterosexual shit. Sex shit. If I think you're hot, specifically, take your shirt off.
What are you doing with your shirt off? Oh, what? You got a little bit hot, so you thought you could just take your shirt off? You ever notice how people who live in the desert wear more clothes? Put your goddamn shirt back on.
I like hanging up the cell phone.
There's not enough people on the street just fully naked. If you are not currently working out or on your way to or from the gym, the beach, or the shower, you are not allowed to have a shirt off in public.
All water-based.
Put
a shirt. I don't want to see your body. I don't want to see your belly button. I don't want to see your chest hair. I don't want to see those milk spouts you call nipples. I don't want to see any of it. Please put on a shirt.
America's happening on the show today. It takes all kinds. This one.
If you have the body confidence, I say go for it.
I just don't believe that there's anything that you can do shirtless that you can't do with a shirt on.
This is specifically in the context of public transportation, like a bus or subway, you know?
I'll give an example.
If I have to be close to you and you're shirtless and you fucking stink, I'm gonna be pissed off.
I really don't like it when people are shirtless in public because no matter what kind of body you have, you still probably have nipples. I feel like nipples are paid content, so I'm gonna have to pass.
Both men and women should be able to be topless in public, like bra or not. I visit sex dungeon where both men and women walk around in public with way less clothing than just being shirtless.
You know how cool you have to be let into a sex dungeon? You have to get tested. On average, there's not that many cool people just out.
Extremely proud of the dad bod because, yeah, I'm a dad. I think I'm fine with it.
You can only do it if you're hot or cool with being regular.
No strong opinions about men being shirtless, but I do.
You're doing it for, I feel like exactly one purpose.
What's the purpose? Horny?
I say normalize it, especially fat and big people. Thanks, love you.
Hey, you're welcome. Bye.
I think if you can do it, take your shirt off.
If it's anywhere outside of a body of water, it starts to get a little concerning.
Consent is everything these days, and my eyeballs, more often than not, haven't consented to seeing someone's nipples.
The only reason to take your shirt off in public as a guy is to show off.
A lot of assumptions being made. What if you're on fire? What if your top part is on fire?
I think everyone should be allowed to do with their body what they want to do. The reason I don't want to see anyone shirtless in public is because I don't want to know that much about you.
It's because of these millennials and their fucking tattoos telling a story.
I think anyone can be shirtless whenever they want, any climate, any occasion. I don't care. But that being said, I think the people around the person with no shirt on should be allowed to be as rude as we want. I can stare at you. I can make any noise I want. Because if you're going to assault me with that, if you're going to expose me to something that I'm not used to seeing, don't expect me to not have a reaction. I want to be able to go, ooh, or like, ooh, or like, oh, like, you know, like.
We've had anti-catcall opinions, and now we have a pro-catcall opinion. I should be allowed to be like, ooh. You gotta be cool with it. We're both doing stuff to each other, I guess is the point.
I just don't know how it makes sense that men are allowed to go shirtless just because they are disgusting to look at.
You don't think shirtless guy turns people on? You want me to take my pants off?
It's a nice day. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with people being shirtless in public. Get your tatas checked. That's very important. Love yourself and be healthy. Live good, long lives and prosper.
It depends on what you mean by public, because if you're talking about, like...
I mean public. Anything that's not private is what I mean.
Everybody should have some sort of shirt-like object on at all times in public.
Hey, hi, is this thing up?
Are you under something?
One time I was in a mosh pit and a gentleman with no shirt was coming towards me, but my hand went credit card swiping directly into his armpit. When my hand came out.
Fuck. I was just getting into it. I was about to cat.
That was soaking wet and dripping.
Whoa.
I had never been more infuriated in my life.
I grew up in the country, so that was a very common occurrence.
Love those easygoing Southerners. It ain't no big deal to take the shirt off.
All right, I got a lot to say about this. I'll try to make it quick. If you're at the beach and you got your man titties out, everyone expects that. Everyone's ready for that.
What a base. Dude, lots of opinions. I'm going to tally them up as I go through and edit this because I feel like it was pretty split. Where do you fall on this goddamn shit? Comment in the shit below. If you want to send me a text or get notifications when I'm playing a live show in your town, 818-722-8682. If you don't want to call that number, then you might as well just not. I don't think you can call it. I think it's just a text thing, but you can leave me a voice note too. So you could do that if you want. I think we're getting ready to put a full episode of that human romance dating show I made up on this channel. So if you want to see that, hit me up in the condoms down below. And don't wear your shirt on in puppies. Or do wear your shirt on. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I heard a lot of opinions, and now I have to go sleep and dream about how I feel about them. Oh, I spilled that soda that I put down before.